Good start, good start. Good start, good start. Oh, what's up, friends? Welcome back to Live at the Roxy on this Wednesday. We have so much to talk about. So, numero uno, I saw Superman over 2 weeks ago. I'm waiting to talk to you guys about it. And I talked a little bit about it on the Christian Harloff show. I pre-taped a podcast with DJ Woldridge this morning that you guys will get soon if you are patrons of Only Stupid Answers. But of course, the number one place I really want to talk about this is with you guys, the rock stars. So I want to talk about Superman. I know some of you saw it Tuesday night because of Amazon. I was going to say, I keep thinking it's American Express, but it's not American Express. It's Amazon. So if you've seen it or if you haven't seen it, everybody, spoiler free means spoiler free. If you spoil something for the people, you get banned for the channel for life. You can't be out here spoiling things for people. I also want to talk about how the internet is handling this in generalmente. In general, oh my God, is the trash coming out to play? So we will talk about how the internet is handling this movie performing well. And I just mean critically and audience wise, this is getting really good reviews. Financially, we still don't know yet, but things are looking rather good. But it's been meltdown city, so we shall chat about that. Plus, I also want to talk to you guys about the fact that I took 2 weeks off of this show, and I did that because my dad came for a week, and then my siblings and my niece came for a week, and a lot happened personally during that time. I had Papo's memorial service. We haven't discussed that, so a little bit on that. I have a short that is in a big Oscar qualifying festival in Los Angeles that people can attend if they would like, but I will be attending, so I want to talk about that. I got a really nice message from somebody this week, and I just wanted to share the power of receiving a kind message and what it can do for your week. And it's my birthday on Sunday, and I have plans. So I'm going to tell you guys about that. And it's the Wednesday show. What do we do on the Wednesday show? We do whatever we want. So that means if there's something you want to talk about, let me know. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. If there's something in your life that you want to share, let me know. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. If there is something TV, movie, music, news, policies, politics related, and you want to talk about it, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. It's the Wednesday show. We talk about anything we want to. Usually we don't make movies and television the focus of the show, but because Superman is such a big deal and it has to do with all of our lives and how we are discussing things on the internet, I figured it would be the main discussion on the show today. So that's what we shall be talking about. I'm going to save the Superman discussion for, well, actually, you tell me. Do you guys want me to talk about me first, or do you want me to talk about Superman first? The reason I was thinking about saving the Superman discussion is even though it's going to be non-spoiler, I know some of you guys don't want to hear anything about it, and I want to be able to take questions. I won't spoil anything, but I'm just going to take questions on it. So I was going to save that till later, but maybe you guys would rather me start with it. So in the chat, write about me. So write Roxy or write Superman for what you want me to start with. Let me know, and the majority shall win. All right, let's see what is going on, my friends. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer, super chat in. Those are the best ways to show financial support. Like, comment, tell your friends. We are here. We are out here. This is, I don't know if I'm going to do a birthday stream show on account of the fact that I have plans on my birthday, which I'll tell you guys about, but I will do one around then for my birthday. Maybe I'll try to do it the morning of. My birthday's on Sunday. Or maybe I will do it that night, but it might be a little bit tipsy. All right, let's see. You guys are saying, let's do a count. All right. 1 for Superman, 2 for Superman, 1 for me, 2 for me, 3 for me, 4 for me, 5 for me, 3 for Superman, 5 for me. 4 for Superman, 5 for me, 6 for me, 7 for me, 8 for me. Okay. Hazy says, can't you just do a poll? Of course I could, Hazy, but isn't it fun to see me struggle with the counting game? Isn't that what it's all about? The struggle of earning an answer. That's what it is. Also, I'm in a very emotional state these days, and Mel saying we're here for you actually just made me want to cry. So, oh, Hazy, the journey is the destination. You're not wrong. Or are you? Who's to say, really? We're going to mother effing start with me. My birthday's on Sunday. I'm turning 34 years old. 34 years young. Am I right? 34 is my mid 30s. I have arrived. I feel no kind of way about it. In terms of 33 and 34 feel pretty similar. I'm a little bummed to not be in my Larry Bird year anymore, or my Jesus year, as many people have called it. But I don't think it makes much of a difference. Anybody 34 or anybody been 34? How is that year? Let me know. My plan is I'm going to go on a boat. I rent myself a little boat and I've invited my girlfriends. And we are going to spend a few hours on a tiny little electric Duffy, eating food and drinking mimosas and on the water for my birthday. I'm so excited. I met somebody who, when I was with my sister, and she's has her boat license, so we went, and she is part of this thing where she's able to take out boats all over the world. It's really cool. And when we were there at the docks, I met this guy. He was really, really nice. And he was from Boston. So we were chatting. And then I mentioned that it was my birthday coming up. And I was like, I really wanted to get a boat, but boats are like thousands of dollars. And he was like, oh, what about like a little Duffy boat? And I was like, I even looked at that and they're so expensive. He's like, oh, I think I have some friends who have Duffy boats that wouldn't mind taking you out or something. It would be much cheaper than that. And I was like, okay. And he was so nice and texted me and was like, yeah, I found one. It's like so reasonably priced. And I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. And I'm going to treat my friends to a boat day on this little Duffy. So it's so cool. And then I texted like 7 girlies and was like, anybody down? And they were all like, yup. And I was like, oh, yes, 34. Yay to my girly pops. So fun for me. So yeah, I'm very excited about that. And I was talking to all of them. Every one of them is married or engaged or in a long-term relationship. And I was saying it's wild because like I wasn't going to do anything for my birthday this year, but all of you guys, my friends don't really do much for their birthday anymore because they're all in long-term relationships or married or whatnot. And so they have built-in plans for their birthdays, right? Like you get dinner with your fiance or whatever it is. But if I don't make plans for my birthday, then I don't see anybody on my birthday. Like if I don't actively make a plan for my birthday, then I'm just alone on my birthday. So I was like, I'm going to just do this. And I have a bunch of friends who all kind of know each other. So I think it'll just be a fun group. And I'm very excited about it. So I haven't finalized it yet, but it's looking like it's coming together. Wish me luck on that. I know, Mal. It is wild. Like it's not that being in a relationship means you don't celebrate with people. Like in general, some of them do stuff, but it's like if they just so happen to feel lazy that year and not want to do something, they're not going to sit alone on their birthday. But I would. So yeah. I got to make my list of goals. I always try to, really focus on certain things. This is going to be the weirdest comment ever. And you guys are going to be like, what the actual fuck kind of goal is that? But I've spent a very long amount of my life not being liked. I I didn't spend any of my years back east not being liked. I have spent the majority of my years out west not being liked. That's just kind of the truth. And the once people get to know me, they love me, I think, because I'm a good person and I show up for people and I try really hard to do right by everyone. But people out here just don't like me. And I have decided for my 34th year, I think I'm going to try to work on being liked. And I know that's a really weird goal, but I'm a little tired of not being liked. Um, so yeah, I'm not going to change who I am, but sometimes I speak my mind in rooms that I've just met people, and I I think that, you know, I sometimes I can just zip it, and sometimes I can be a little sweeter, a little more like friendly instead of just who I am. I can amp up some characteristics that might make me just a little more liked. And oh, not by people on the internet. That I don't I I can't help that. But I just mean in rooms that I walk into out here. Like it's um it's tiring to feel like I've a whole coast of people doesn't understand you and you speak too aggressively or too abrasively for them. And I don't need to do some of those things. So anyway, it's just one of the things I'm going to work on. Let's see how it goes. Could absolutely backfire. Keep you guys posted, but it'd be fun to be liked. Never going to not be myself. Just don't need to share the most myself with every person I come across. That's for my like real A1 day ones. So yes, I can talk about more about that when I do my birthday stream, or if you guys have questions, Streamlabs them in. But that's what I'm thinking for my birthday. And let's see what's going on with you guys. Big support coming in from Paco Loco, Soldier Boy. I don't know what just dollar sign, dollar sign, dollar sign. Soldier Boy, I told him. Speaking of fire songs, last week, this is how you know sometimes art needs to grow on you. Last week, I out loud said, I don't understand why Man Child is being deemed the song of the summer. I don't like it that much. I am now so obsessed with Man Child. The lyrics are so relevant to so many of the men I have dated that it is like outrageously fun for me. I love that song and I bop right to it. Like, oh, yeah, this absolutely slaps. I'm a big Sabrina Carpenter fan in general. I think she just like does what she wants. Icon. But I don't know why. When this song came out, I was like, I don't know, useless. Now I'm like, no, last week me was dead wrong. This week me is way smarter. And it's just because it keeps playing in so many places that now I'm more used to it. I don't know. Let's go into the Streamlabs. Let's see what it is that you guys have to say. We are going to be talking about Superman later on, so get in your questions, comments, concerns, etc., etc., etc. Our first Streamlabs of the day is coming from Mr. ND Fanatic, who says, Hey, Roxy, not going to brag. I brought up Stick first on Christian Harloff's show. 3 things have annoyed me on the show. Wait, what do you mean? I watched it from the moment it came out. I watched it before the first episode dropped. How could you have brought it up first? I've been watching it. I was sent it before it even dropped. What do you mean? I brought it up first. Don't steal my thunder. 3 things have annoyed me on the show. First, lack of actual golf. Second, run time. Wish it was 45 minutes. Third, I'm sorry, but Zero. Great actress, but they have made her unlikable, and Santi as well. Wow, I have never disagreed more with a comment in my life. Number 1, I think they do the perfect amount of golf. I'm not there to watch the golf. Number 2, I love how quick it is. I just think the episode length is perfect. They do enough to tell the story. And number 3, I think that Zero and Santi are both so insanely likable. Like, so lovable. Oh, mwah. Chef's kiss. Obsessed. But you know what I'm not going to do because you just like it? I'm not going to call you a slur or a series of names the way that The internet calls me when I like or dislike something. We'll talk about that when we talk about Superman. Jake H in the house. Thank you, Jake. Saw a tweet today that said, historians studying failed American empire won't be shocked at greediness of the rich, but the loyalty of the poor, or something like that. Hit hard. That is such a bummer. Excited for Superman tomorrow night, though. You did a question mark. Why are you excited for Superman tomorrow night, though? Question mark. Are you excited or are you not excited? Yeah, the loyalty of the poor. That is such a bummer. It's not loyalty as much as like they're being fooled, tricked, bamboozled. Bummer. Keep Streamlabs in, super chatting in. Sexy Andrew says, hey, Roxy, you are going to be 34 years hot. Yeah, baby. Great hosting for Christian. You looked really good and sexy in blue purple. It was Superman-ish. Thank you. I felt like it was inspired. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate this. Oh, Jake says the question mark was a typo. I was like, what do you mean? Are you excited? Are you not excited? Loving these. Keep sending them in. Appreciate you guys. Okay. So I am in a short. I filmed a short last year, and it was with a lot of the same people who were on Crust, which is why it is so cool in this industry when you are, all right, going back to the likable thing. I've never, to the best of my knowledge, I've never worked with anybody on set that then didn't want to work with me again. So in those rooms, once somebody gets to know me, I think I'm very helpful on set and stuff. And I find that people like me. And so it's really cool to see that every job that I book kind of books me another job. Like you guys know the movie Lioness that I shot over in the UK. That was because I got an audition for that because I shot my first movie in 2017. And the writer of that remembered me. Him and I stayed very close friends. You guys, he's come on the show, Don Burns, and he thought that I was good. And then almost a decade later, 8 years later, he asked me to audition for that. So it's cool to see. I feel proud of myself that when I actually get opportunities, I try to make the most of them. And then they end up giving me other opportunities. So I shot that movie Crust. And from that, one of the stars of that, Rebecca Kennedy, was directing her first short. And it was written by the director and the writer, Sean Whalen, of Crust. And Rebecca cast a lot of the people that we were with on Crust because people were really good and we could see how people were to work with. So she offered me a role in the short. And I only shot for one day. I think they shot for 2 days. I think it's like 10 minutes long. And it's called Love Language. And they've been submitting it to festivals, and it just got into a really good festival that's out here. I'll tell you guys the information. It's called the LA Shorts International Film Festival. It's at LA Live, and her short Love Language was accepted, and it's going to be on Friday, July 18th. Tickets are available now. I will be there. And I'm so excited about this. I'm in only the first, I think it's 10 minutes. And I think I'm in only the first 2 minutes or something. But I had so much fun, maybe a couple more minutes than that. But it's so much fun with this role. It was an absolute blast, a little bit out of my norm. And I just really, really enjoyed it. And I'm so excited for her that her directorial debut is being received well and that it's going to this big short festival. And it feels really good that she wanted to work with me again. I really love Rebecca. I think she's so immensely talented. And being part of the first thing she directed is just a blast. So anyway, just letting you guys know, because a lot of you guys always ask me what acting stuff I'm working on. So that is going to be there. And then I believe it's going to play other festivals. And then I don't have updates for you guys yet on when Lioness is coming out, but I do have a story for you guys about that. So I got a message this week from the director of Lioness, who I absolutely think is ridiculously talented and also the greatest dude. We just got along so well. I think he is like honestly going to be massive. He's already successful. He did these movies on Netflix called One Shot. If you guys saw them, they're these sick action movies. Now he's directing this, which of course is with Kate Beckinsale and Louis Tan. I only say of course because if you watch the show, you know I've talked about it when I went over to the UK to shoot it. And he messaged me this week. So we shot that in March, and he messaged me this week, and he's obviously been in post. And he was like, I just want to let you know, I've been like reviewing footage or whatever part of the process they're in. And he's like, you did such an amazing job in this. And he didn't have to message me that. It made my whole week. I have opened the message and looked at it a dozen times during moments where I'm like, F this. I'm so frustrated with life. Like, I'm turning 34. Why am I not further in my career? Why haven't I booked something since that movie? The auditions right now are slow. Like, you guys know I'm working on producing my movie right now, and there are always speed bumps with things. And any moments that I've been feeling whatever, I opened it up and I was just like, wow, he didn't have to send that to me. And he just out of the blue was like, I just want to let you know you did such a great job. And as you guys know, I told you I'm in a few scenes. It's not like I'm the star of the movie. He doesn't need to coddle me or say anything to me. And he went out of his way to say that to me. And I want to remember that lesson for hopefully one day when I'm more successful. And even for me at this point, just to give people their flowers. If I feel like somebody's great at something, whatever it is, whether it's making a tea, a latte, or whether it's a meal, or whether it's an artist or a musician or whatever, just like it makes people's day, week, month, you don't even know, to give a genuine compliment about something they're so passionate about. And I was just so excited. I was like, I did a good job. That's just, yes, yay. Hell yeah. It's so nice. So just a little thing that I took away, and I'm sure you guys have felt that before too, where if we can all just be on the lookout for who's kicking butt or that we think is good, and just shoot them some kind words about whatever it is. All right, that is a little bit more about me. I'm going to keep talking about myself unless we get any Streamlabs about you guys. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Striar. Super chat in. Let me know questions, comments, concerns, thoughts. Thank you to Paco Loco and Sexy Andrew and Jake H and Mr. ND Fanatic for the previous Streamlabs and super chats. And now we've got more coming in from RQMDSMD with that huge support. I need it. I love it. I want some more of it. Eating good in the neighborhood. Yes, RQMDSMD. Hi, Roxy. Just sending a little early birthday gift. He didn't say little. He just said an early birthday gift, but that is where my head went. In case you do have a show on Sunday, happy birthday and best wishes. Mwah, 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 mwah. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. What do you guys wish for me for my birthday year? Let me know. What are you wishing? Mr. ND Fanatic in the Streamlabs says, thank you for not assuming. In my opinion, they're just rushing things with Zero and Santi being just extremes of their characters. Last episode won me over with them, but also, why has no one told Santi about Price's son? That last episode broke me. RT equals Lasso Light. RT. What's RT equals Lasso Light? Rotten Tomatoes equals Lasso Light? Let me know what that means. I feel like, and for anybody who's watching Stick, I feel like it's nobody else's place to tell Santi about Price's son. It's a very personal thing. And when Price wants to tell him, he'll tell him. And I feel like it's very common when you're young and like have feelings for somebody. You guys fight, you don't. It's very passionate. I thought it was extremely believable. I honestly don't have one qualm with the show. I think it is like one of the only perfect shows on TV right now. I love it. I love it. I love it. So good. Dun, dun, so good. I got a you. Wow. I feel good. We will be getting to Superman soon. But taking another Streamlabs, talking a little bit about me. And then we will move forward. Just always updating you guys on my plan of attack. Kevin Meek with that big support. Thank you, Kevin. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for my 15 minutes of fame on Real Rejects Insta. Ha, assuming that was you. Yeah, always me. So stoked for Superman. And it's not just 15 minutes of fame there. It's a whole 24 hours. So stoked for Superman. I will be watching it alone in an empty theater tomorrow night. So I really appreciate all the hype and content to geek out with. I will be watching it alone in an empty theater. Kevin, how? Talk to us. Why are you watching it alone in an empty theater? I feel like, did you rent out the theater? Because otherwise, I feel like it won't be empty. Okay, actually, that's a good note to jump into Superman stuff. And then we can come back to more me stuff later on. But because it's all about me. No, it's really not. It is about Superman, and I want to talk about it. I saw Superman. This is spoiler free. I'm going to let you guys know the rules one more time. I will not be spoiling anything about Superman because I think if you actively decide to spoil something for other people, then you're kind of a prick. So that's not my bag. And somehow I've managed to not spoil anything about it for over 2 weeks. And I plan on continuing to do that. If you guys are in the chat, I want questions. If you haven't seen it, ask me questions. And I'll answer as best as I can without spoiling. If you have seen it, ask questions, comments, whatever, without spoiling. Here are the rules. We know the rules on this show. If you spoil something intentionally for people, you get banned from the show forever. No exceptions. Done. Because don't do that, because then you're an ass. Just no. It's a no for me. So those are the rules. Play by them and enjoy. Don't play by them and I don't know why that's my like slashing right now, like 2 hands. This is not how you would ever. Okay, well, we'll just let it be. But I show people in the chat who has seen Superman so far. Has anybody seen Superman so far in the chat? Let me know. So feel free to Streamlabs in your questions, super chat in your questions. In general, if you haven't heard my thoughts on Superman, I will give you my brief, non-spoiler review right now, and then I want to hear what you guys want me to talk about. I loved Superman. I thought this movie was great. For those of you guys who do not know, I was asked by Greg Alba. Greg Alba was invited by Warner Brothers to go see this movie on the lot 2 Mondays ago. So 16 days ago. He was given basically a +3, and he took Olivia, John, and myself. So a bunch of the Real Rejects. Coy was also invited by DC, of course. And Coy took his fiance, Anya. So Coy, Anya, Olivia, Greg, John, and myself. That's a huge chunk of the rejects. And some of the rejects can't go because they have to review this, so you can't watch it. So, we all have to pull straws and duke it out over who gets to see things in theaters and who has to wait for it for their first time reaction to watch. But that's how we all got to go. On the Warner Brothers lot, the theater was not jam-packed. So they were clearly very particular about who they were asking to this. I don't remember everybody who was there. I will say that some of the people that I knew were there were Ash Crosnan, who I think is awesome. BD, who I think he has his podcast Phase Zero now, formerly from Comic Book. Jabby, Greg's brother, and Achara over from their channel, Cinepals, where Steph is. Steph was not there. I'm just saying that's the channel she's on. So when I don't know whether you call this group of people, like some people were like, it was an influencer screening. Some people were like, it was a critic screening. And then the 2 people that do the DC show with Coy were also there. And a bunch of people I didn't know were also there. There was a bunch. Oh, Hector Navarro. I saw him there. So those are just some of the people I saw there. And here's how it went down. We went onto the lot. We were introduced to the film by James Gunn and Peter Safran. They came out. They said, we have been traveling nonstop. We haven't slept. So sorry that we're exhausted, but we are here to introduce this movie because we worked so hard on it and it was very difficult and we love it and we hope you love it too. And they give about a 1 60-second speech each. First Gunn went, then Safran went. Then they left. Then we watched the movie. And I could tell, I'm going to say there was maybe 100 people in the theater. And I could tell while we were watching this movie that it was just doing it for people. Like, I've gotten to this point where I'm very in touch with the audiences. And I'm sure a lot of you guys feel this way too. When you're watching something, you're very in touch with people's feelings as they're watching something. And I felt like everybody was like overwhelmed with gratitude and joy that this was the movie we were being presented. I want to remind you guys, based on my history, that I used to do a show called DC Movie News that started in 2014. I have been invited to many screenings on the Warner Brothers lot for DC. This I actually was not invited to. I was a +1 too. So I have no ties to Warner Brothers this time. Previously, I have had not ties to Warner Brothers because they were not paying me, but I was doing DC Movie News. I was personally invited. And I know what it's like to watch a screening with people who have been invited somewhere and it to not go well. It happened many times on the WB lot where you could tell people were like, oh, I really like this, but, or like, I just wasn't vibing with it. There's nothing about going to these that makes you have to say you like something. There's nothing about saying you don't like something that makes you not invited in the future. If you guys recall, I didn't like Man of Steel. It was the first movie that we covered. It came out and then we started DC Movie News. So we covered that movie nonstop for a while. I was very vocal about how much I did not like that movie because of that moment with the dad and the dog. Everybody who knows me well knows that that bothered me. I didn't like the movie because that was not Superman to me. I think there's great parts about the movie. I didn't like that movie. Since saying I did not like that movie, I was invited by Warner Brothers after that multiple times to the lot to screen other movies. So there's no one who's at these that I know that would lie about their opinion to get invited to something, because you don't actually get invited for just being positive. And you don't get uninvited for being negative. It's not the way these work. Here's another thing about the way that these work. We don't get paid to go to these. You don't get paid to go to these. You don't get paid to post about these. If anybody does get paid to go to these or does get paid to post about these, legally they have to disclose that. You cannot do a paid promotion to promote something and not disclose that it is an ad or sponsorship or paid partnership. You have to write in writing. It has to say that, or it is illegal and you can and will be sued. So I don't know anybody who would make that mistake. That would be insane. So, okay, we do the screening. I can feel the room is full of this is amazing energy. It doesn't feel like it felt when we watched other movies on the lot. Then what ended up happening is that you leave the room. And before you walked in, they gave anybody who wanted a cape, a little small Funko, a t-shirt, really cool. Then you watched Safran and Gunn spoke. Then you watch the movie. Then you leave, and they had all the real costumes laid out on mannequins for you. And Gunn was there individually taking photos and chatting with people. And outside, there was food trucks and people recording their content or just chatting with each other and eating from these food trucks. I actually didn't stay for that portion because my dad was in town and I wanted to get to him. And I had already been there for 3 hours to see the movie. So I actually left. Screenshot of, okay, let me read this now. There's a screenshot of an email going around Twitter where it says social posts encourage for future access. I'm paraphrasing, but studios def try to get people to be positive. I have never seen that ever, not one time. So I would be shocked if that was real. And additionally, I certainly have never received that. No one's ever, I know you said you're paraphrasing, but I've never been even remotely had that said to me, like ever by anybody, not from any studio. I've been doing this a really long time, a really long time. And in fact, like, I think they really encourage honesty because they know that people sniff out BS. Yeah, send me the link. I'm really curious about it, Mel. And I'm also curious who it came from and if it's real. Because there's so much fake stuff going on the internet. And I'm not saying it's not real, but that has never happened to me. I've just never been, that's never happened. And in fact, for this event, they told us you are not allowed to talk about it or post about it, the movie, for 2 weeks, which I thought was a really silly plan on their part because everybody loved it. So why are we holding this for 2 weeks? I think that the general audience, people online, would have had a much easier time believing that this was great if we had seen the screening and posted about it. And then people, as they were seeing the screenings, were posting about it, because what ended up happening was we had that screening then there was screenings on Sunday and Monday of this week. And then the embargo, when it dropped Tuesday, it was so many people posting about it that had been like anticipating posting about it, that it was like, oh my God, this is amazing, this is amazing, this is amazing. And so many people all at once that a lot of people were like, wait, why is this all dropping right now? And people have been seeing it for weeks. It feels like this feels odd. To me, it didn't feel odd because I understood that that's when the embargo lifted, but people were saying it felt odd. And I think that might be part of why. So then Gunn is out there talking to people. And usually if people don't like a movie, what ends up happening is they just clear out pretty quickly and don't talk to the filmmaker. I've seen that happen so many times, and it's actually really sad, but I've seen it happen a lot. There is a line around the corner waiting to talk to Gunn. Everybody wanted to tell him how much they loved this. Everybody wanted to ask him questions about it. When he came out, The Rejects, we all just were standing right there. So that's when we snapped our picture. Coy was with us, so Coy and Gunn know each other. So they were chatting for a second. Greg was telling him how much this movie meant to him. I very briefly said that I thought he did an amazing job. He thanked all of us. We took a picture. That was my full interaction with him. And then we went outside. John, Greg, and I recorded a social media review, and then they went to record their actual review for YouTube, and I left because I had to get to my dad. I wanted to get to my dad. So that was the experience, because a lot of people have been asking me, what was the experience? What was the experience? Were you paid to do this? How much were you paid to do this? That's what it was like. And again, I can't emphasize this enough. I absolutely shredded Man of Steel. Actually, at the time, I shredded it more than I probably should have, only in terms of, I don't think the movie isn't as bad as I felt about it when I saw it, because I was so pissed about the dad moment. I was so pissed about it. I still don't like it, but I shredded it. And I still got invited to all of the things after that. Because I'm a DC fan. I'm a DC person. I was talking about it. So that is what I can say about that. I think that people are positively reviewing this because I think that the movie is amazing. I think it's really great. Offline, I've been texting with my friends who have seen it, who went last night to the Amazon thing. And some people have some critiques. Some of the critiques that I've seen are that it's a little bloated. And I think people are saying that because it's short and there's a lot of characters. So I didn't find it to be bloated, but I think it's a fair call out if people find it a little bloated. That there's certain characters we didn't get a lot of. And if you like those characters, maybe you wanted more of that. Those are the two main critiques people have been texting me. But other than that, my manager, Mike Kalinowski, Christian, everybody that I've been texting with about it has been like, it's awesome. The movie's awesome. I think it's just awesome. I'm not lying about it. I loved it. I watched Dan Merle's review. It's the only review that I've watched that somebody really actually didn't like the movie. And I watched his review because I was curious, why didn't he like the movie? And in all fairness, I have so much respect for Dan, always have. We worked together for years. I love Dan. But in all fairness, if you go back, Dan and I started working together in 2014, so for over a decade. Dan and I have disagreed on almost every movie ever. We have complete opposite opinions on movies. So I shouldn't have been that surprised because I loved this movie so much. It was full of so much heart and soul. I'm not saying Dan isn't full of that, but it just it connected with me and related to me in like the deepest depths of my soul of what I need right now, which is hope and love and kindness for all, and a better world and a better future and striving to be the best version of yourself. I just loved it. And being proud of your loved ones and being proud of yourself and all of that. I love that. So I was like, why didn't Dan like this? And I watched this review, and he always is well spoken, always. And I understood where he was coming from when he says that this is not an origin story. That's not a spoiler. Gunn has said it's not going to be an origin story. And because of that, he feels like, and this is paraphrasing, but that it's not necessarily the best introduction to Superman. That's an opinion, and he's allowed to feel that way. I wholeheartedly disagree because I think it is an amazing introduction to Superman. I love when things kind of throw you in and they start you on the third chapter or the third episode, and they're like, this is life. And then we can pull back at any time, but nothing was confusing to me. In all fairness, though, as Dan states in his review, I'm a big Superman fan. So of course nothing was didn't make sense to me. I know all these characters and I know Superman's origin. It's a PG-13 movie, so I don't really think that anybody who is probably under 8 or 9 should even be watching this movie. So I would guess that by the time somebody sees this, they know enough about Superman. They know that he's not from here. They know that he was sent here. That's kind of all you really need to know. So that didn't bother me. He had a lot of other critiques that I didn't agree with. But again, like a normal person, I'm like, oh, that's an interesting opinion. It's not how I feel, but he didn't like the movie. I'm glad he expressed himself why. Normal discourse. Not that I've even spoken to Dan. I'm just saying that was a totally fair, reasonable review of his. Don't agree with it, but totally fair. I put out my review that I love this. It's so great. It moved me. Lois Lane is amazing. And I was called every slur possible. Every mean word for being queer. Every mean word for being a woman. Every mean word for being a Jew. I have received thousands and thousands of messages, DMs, tweets, Instagrams, Facebook messages, Facebook comments, TikTok comments about why I am the biggest beep, 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 because I like this movie. That is insane. What? You think I'm the F word because I like this movie? And the F word is not fuck? Which I don't really care if you think that I'm a effing Jew or a F word slur for queer people. I don't really care that you think that because I don't think either of those things are bad things because they're not. But the fact that I don't even understand the logic. And it's so scary and strange and such a bummer that you can't love something and then just love it publicly and not be called horrific things. There was this one comment. So John, Greg, and I reviewed it, and they were like, of a fucking feminist, a gay, and a Muslim reviewing this movie. I'll pass. I texted Greg and I was like, Am I the feminist? John's the gay and you're the Muslim? Like, it's so racist. And he was like, I think you hit the nail on the head. It's like, and then there was another one, like 3 effing Jews review this movie. And I was like, I'm the only Jew of the 3 of us. Also, you know who's also a Jew? David Cornsweet, you know who's also a Jew? The creators of Superman. But okay. And you know who's not Jewish? Greg or John, but that's not relevant. Okay. It's just so weird. It's so weird. And I actually really like Zack Snyder's movies in general. Not all of them, but in general, I really like his movies. I don't understand liking one person's movies so much that you actively root for somebody else's movies to fail. And anybody else who likes those movies, you call slurs. And you haven't even seen the movies. What is happening? Like, what is the internet now? All right, let's see what's going on with you guys. Andrew says, I saw your official Facebook post on the new Superman movie premiere and it looked really fun too. Thank you, Andrew. I didn't go to the premiere, but I did go to the lot a couple weeks ago. But Coy and Greg did go to the premiere, and Olivia, and it did look awesome. I think they had fun. Let's go in the Streamlabs. Let's see what's going on here. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Okay. Jake H. As an actress, I understand if you don't allow yourself this kind of thinking, but is there anyone in the cast of Superman that would be a dream scene partner for you? Oh my God, I of course allow myself that kind of thinking. That's all I think about. Hoping 34 brings more of your face to a theater near me. I love that hope. Same. Who would I want as a scene partner? Dream scene partner. I can't say everybody, but I feel like either Rachel or Skylar. Either Lois Lane or Jimmy Olsen. Just fun vibes. Everybody's so good. And obviously the smartest answer to give would be Nicholas Hoult because he's the biggest star. But and of course him too, but I think that the other two would be my answers at this moment. Thank you for that. Mike Joyce in the Streamlabs says, I thought you might have over exaggerated on Christian's show about the hate you're getting for your thoughts on Superman. But I checked out Twitter and oh my God, so many whiny little incels. Mike, why would you have thought I was over exaggerating about that? I never over exaggerate about the hate that I get online. I don't have to. I wouldn't, and I don't have to. Leonard, you said not Simu Liu or Young Mazzino. I think he meant from Superman. He says, is there anyone in the cast of Superman that would be a dream scene partner for you? Obviously, and like Young Mazzino, dream scene partner, yes. But take out the word scene and just dream partner. Dream partner. Love. Just a hunch that was exaggerating. Mike, that's kind of mean. That's kind of mean. I don't do that. So Kevin Meek in the Streamlabs, thank you for the big support. Says, I live in the mountains, small town. We have an awesome little historic theater no one goes to. It drives me crazy. See most movies in an empty theater, kind of cool sometimes, kind of not other times. That's interesting. Mountain, small town. So Kevin, when you say empty, do you mean and no one goes there? Do you mean literally you will be the only one? There won't be one other soul in there for sure? That is wild. Kind of a cool way to see it though. Kind of interesting. Let us know. John Get Benton, Streamlabs, that big support. Thank you. Happy early birthday. Have fun on the boat. While you were talking about not being liked by much people in the West, I was hoping you were gearing up for a Roxy villain arc. Maybe next year. Stay awesome. I mean, sometimes if somebody doesn't like you, it's a them problem. But sometimes it's a you problem. And I'm just always trying to be the best version of myself. So I think I, like anybody, can always just continue working on myself. That's just my thoughts. All right. Streamlabs in, Super Chat in. In general, I didn't see which of you guys saw Superman. Did anybody in the chat see Superman? Sorry to make you guys say it again, but have you guys seen it? In general, I am not here to compare this Superman to previous versions of Superman. when people are like, this is my Superman. I totally get that. I understand that. And I think he is an amazing Superman. I think there's been a lot of amazing Supermans. But that I feel like I have individual love for so many of them. I do feel like this is my Lois Lane, though, and I just keep raving about her for that reason. But their chemistry, man, is undeniable. I loved Crypto in this. I loved so many of the other characters. I don't want to harp on which ones I love the most because it kind of has to do with more about their screen time. But you guys are seeing Mr. Terrific is getting a ton of love, and he deserves every ounce of it. Let's see, you guys in the chat haven't watched. Some of you saw it last night. Cool. Seeing it tomorrow, Friday, not yet this weekend, Friday. All right, so most of you guys have not. I think that this is so worth seeing in theaters. I know that finances are an issue for everybody. I know that time is an issue for everyone. But if you can afford to see this and make the time to see this in theaters, I think that it's really, really such a beautiful movie with so many great messages and so many great moments and so many great lines and so much chemistry and passion and fire. And you can tell this was a labor of love. James Gunn did just an excellent job. And I'm so excited to be able to talk to you guys more about this next week once more of you have seen it. I did get invited to Fantastic Four today, so I'm really excited to see that. I'm, again, not getting paid to see that. I would have to disclose it. Speaking of which, I was just offered a partnership for an upcoming movie, not to see the movie, but to see I can't give too many details yet, but like essentially an advertisement for the movie and to post about that and talk about it. And it's something that I've been looking forward to. And again, it's not seeing the actual thing. It's the thing before. And I am getting paid for that. And I will be posting about that. And when I do, you guys will know what it is because I will write, this is a paid partnership. This is a paid partnership. This is how I feel about it. This is a paid partnership. So you guys will see the difference between when I'm paid for something. And again, I'm not being paid to see the movie and review it positively because I wouldn't do that. But just to promote its existence. And I'm going to say paid, ad, sponsored, because that's how you have to legally do it. All right, I am getting out of here, my friends. So send in any final Streamlabs and Super Chats. Really, really appreciate you guys who have so far. Shout out to Sexy Andrew, Paco Loco, to my Streamlabsers, Kevin Meek, Mike Joyce, Jake H, Mr. ND Fanatic, RQMDSMD. You guys absolutely rock. And John Get Bent. We have another super chat coming in. Roger Alvarado. As someone who isn't a James Gunn fan, a big James Gunn fan, the movie was better than I thought it would be. Didn't feel overly campy and comedic as I feared it would be. I did have issues with the film. Good, but not great. I think that's totally fair. To think this is good, not great. I thought it was great. You think it was good? Totally fine. I also didn't find it to be campy. I've been seeing that word a lot, and I'm like, did you guys see the movie? I just didn't find this to be campy at all. And on Christian Show, Mike was asking me about the campiness, and I was like, I just didn't find it to be campy. And I texted him last night. I was like, did you find it to be campy after he saw it? He was like, not at all. It just isn't campy. So, but different people have different definitions of campy out here. So, I guess maybe that makes sense to some people. All right. Let me know any final questions, comments, concerns about Superman or about me. I think that I'm going through my list of things that I wanted to tell you about myself. My family was here. Papa's memorial happened. It was really difficult. And I spoke. And it was also beautiful. And all my friends that knew him came to support me. Steph was there. Lauren LaGrasso was there. Ashley Daniels was there. It was Sarah Stretton, who I don't know, only OG fans of the show remember her. David Bloom, who I've never had on the show, but I've had his wife Ritza, and their partners. That was just so cool for me to have my friends show up like that in such a moment that was so nice. And my whole family came out. And yeah, it was moving. It was beautiful. And I'm so glad that we were able to celebrate him. So just really, really, really nice to have the people who loved him and cared about him. There's like 65 people there, and he was almost 100 years old. So to have that many people still here that just you were that were so impacted by you, so affected by your kindness and your bravery and your love. As Steph always says, he's like the only real hero she's ever met. And he really is. He was an absolute hero to this country, to my people, to my family. He was a real, true hero. And so grateful that he was my puppo. And that everybody came to say such kind things. My brother's speech was amazing. Grammy's speech was hysterical. She did such a good job. I'm so proud of her. Track stars in the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer says, I love Soups. It was so heartwarming. I even felt for Lex a bit, but maybe that was Nicholas Hoult effect. The only thing was, I wish there was more. I don't know that word. Oh, Clois. I think you're saying, like, is that Clark and Lois's ship name? I think that totally fair assessment. A lot of people felt that way. I didn't need that, but I don't want to give too much more about that because I don't want to get into spoiler territory. I don't know if the DC Movie News is going to do spoiler chat next week. I would love to. I think that'd be so fun for a Wednesday show or a Sunday show, but I would have to chat with them. So that would be an absolute blast. That'd be so much fun to do. All right, friends. Just checking in, make sure I'm not missing any Streamlabs or Super Chats before I go. Kevin Meek in the Streamlabs says, there will be a few people there this weekend to catch it. Oh, okay. But I'm currently the only seat sold for tomorrow. It's funded by Historic Society, so it doesn't live or die off ticket sales. It's odd. Glad the memorial went well, and happy birthday. Thank you, Kevin. Well, let us know how the experience is seeing Superman in an empty theater. That would be wild. I mean, it's fun to have the collective experience, but it's also kind of cool to like just soak it in yourself on a screen that size. It's an interesting way that theater operates too. Curious about that. All right, my dears. Oh, you guys are keeping me here and I love to see it. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Every time I say, all right, my dears. Oh, no, I said that, but then I refreshed and nothing was there. But I got a notification in my emails that there was, but there wasn't. So on that note, stay safe, stay sane, put down the toilet seat lid. We don't want those buffoons. Don't remember the Holocaust. Justice for all of the people who have lost their lives due to excessive force. My body, my choice. Forever in the rainbow, we love you. We stand with the women of Iran, some of the bravest women we've ever seen. Golden sparkles for Zen One himself, Glenn Caesar. You are loved and missed on this show. Okay, my friends, let me know what you think about Superman in the comments. Did you see it? Keep it spoiler free down there. And I will see you guys either before my birthday, on my birthday, or right after my birthday. Talk soon. Later.